to Sydenham's, hasn't he?
66 plays 36. There's the Sarah to win the game. And Hawthorn are the 1986 Foster's Cup premiers. 9 goals, 12, 66 defeating Carlton 5-6, 36, and a great performance by Hawthorn because they looked in plenty of trouble after the end of that third quarter after Carlton kicked 5 goals to their 2, but they bounced back, typical of Hawthorn. Whenever you think that you got them down, that's when they're at their best. And of course, there's their coach, Alan Jeans, a very quiet man. He won't take any praise himself, Pete. All he worries about, my boys, as long as they're happy and they do the job.
Well, I think he'd be pretty happy with them tonight. They looked, as you said, a beaten side at three-quarter time, but they fought back well, kicking 5-7 in the last quarter. And so the Hawks winning their second successive night premiership. They defeated Essendon last year, and they beat Carlton in 1977.
Full marks to Carlton, too, for a great one.
OK, Alan Jeans coming out onto the field. We'll be back here at VFL Park for the official presentation after these messages from all studios. Hawthorn winning their second successive night premiership, defeating Carlton by 30 points as we go down now for the official presentation, and it's to be done by the Commissioner of the Victorian Football League, Mr. Jack Hamilton.
Congratulations to the two teams on a magnificent game this evening. To the Hawthorn Football Club in taking out the 1986 premiership in very difficult conditions, a sincere congratulations. On behalf of the Victorian Football League, might I thank Carlton United Breweries for their magnificent and generous sponsorship of the Foster's Cup, and also to HSV7 for bringing this series into your homes. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Managing Director of Carlton United Breweries, Mr. Peter Bartels, to present the Foster's Cup to the Hawthorn Football Club.
Thank you, Jack. On behalf of Carlton United Breweries, I'd like to say how delighted we are to have been associated with the Victorian Football League in the presentation of the Foster's Football Cup. The Cup has been played for by a number of interstate teams, and a deal of the prize money has been shared. Tonight we've witnessed an excellent game, one that's been hard fought by both sides. The third quarter looked like it was Carlton's game, but Hawthorn came back in the final quarter, and well done, Michael Tuck. Congratulations. Foster's has been with you all the way.
I'd just like to thank the players tonight. Actually, it's my first night game, so I feel commiserations to the players who got the Hawthorn Football Club there. But the selectors in their wisdom chose the side which won the game. And commiserations to Carlton because it was such a bad night, but we might meet again in the future. And I'd just like to thank Foster's for sponsoring the night series. They reckon it's not a bad drink. So I'd just like to thank very much for coming too on such a miserable night. Thank you.
Tucky, before you go, it was one of those games that was a seesawing game. When Carlton came back hard in the third quarter, what did you do to regroup?
Well, Gene, you had a pretty good talk to us three-quarter time because other years, as people know, we have slipped back in the last quarter of the grand final, so we had to prove something tonight, and we did to ourselves, which was quite good.
A magnificent contribution from one of the new boys in the side who's really been one of the stars this year in John Platten.
Oh, yes, I think he played very well in the last quarter, kicking goals, but I think the 21 players out there done a very good job. It's just a good team effort.
Tucky, I spoke to you in the same spot 12 months ago. Is it any better, the feeling now?
Oh, it's better now. I think we're playing a little bit better than last year, so I hope we can carry it on, but we're not going to get carried away. We'll enjoy tonight, and then we get back to it next Saturday.
Tucky, well done.
Thanks,
Michael Tuck, the captain of the Hawthorn Football Club. For viewers on the 7 Network, we'll take this break and be back at VFL Park in just a moment. And that, of course, gentlemen, brings us to that time of the evening when we discuss and award our Best Player of the Night award. How did you see it?
Well, I think firstly, Bob, what we've got to say is congratulations to both sides for putting up such a sterling performance because the conditions were bad, but it was a well-fought match. And as I said during the comment, they'll both sleep well tonight. And full marks to the umpires because they did let the game flow on. But I saw, you know, up until about I'd reckon in that last quarter I would have given Ayres the best player on the ground.
Well, Ayres at that stage certainly was, but in that third quarter, Tommy Alvin was a magnificent player. The Carlton defence got right on top during that term, and Alvin with 12 kicks and 3 handballs for the game. 15 possessions in a night game. It doesn't look as much, but they never get as many in a night's game.
Well, it's the tapping on that counts too, not on just the possession.
Particularly a night like tonight. And there's John Platten, 16 kicks, 3 handballs, the number of times he was diving in there, tapping the ball on, and the 3 goals in the last quarter. 2 of them are just absolutely magnificent, and I felt that left foot goal he kicked from the forward pocket was probably the one that really lifted the Hawthorn side.
Well, you've got to give credit to Carlton too, because Wallace was well on top in the first half. They shifted Johnson onto Wallace, and he did a pretty good job on containing him there. And of course, Loveridge battled well. He went out in the third quarter, but he bounced back when he went down to defence in that last quarter, Bob.
It was a good move, I thought. He went everywhere Bradley went in the last quarter, and not only did he make sure that Bradley didn't get any kicks, he got kicks himself and finished with 17 possessions for the game.
What about Meldon? Now, he had a sensational third quarter, but Platten, of course, would have been well on top because of the mere fact he kicked 3 goals. That was his man.
Yes, well, Terry Wallace, a dominant first half, and they had to do something about Wallace, and he really set things up early in the piece, and if they'd have capitalised on the number of times that Terry Wallace put the ball forward, but then, as you said, Lou, he was shut out of the game by Wayne Johnson, and it really made a difference. You mentioned Meldrum, and Meldrum in that third quarter in particular, Platten brought him right up the ground, and in the first couple of minutes of play, Meldrum took 3 excellent marks and really set things up. Justin Madden was also an excellent player for Carlton. In these conditions, the big fella worked hard right through the night. You can't... What more can we say about Bruce Dool?
That just keeps on going, doesn't it?
He's just magnificent. His stats might not be great, but my best player for the night is Gary Ayres would have been best player by a street until he got injured. But for 4 quarters of football, 3 wonderful goals in the last quarter, John Platten.
Bob, I concur.
Well, you agree, and so too Peter Donegan, Jack Edwards, and I must also agree, John Platten played a magnificent game tonight, and he wins the national prize. So let's go down now to the Hawthorn rooms. Jack Edwards has sorted him out, and in the Hawthorn rooms, Jack speaks now with our best player of the night, John Platten.
Thank you very much, Peter. I have John Platten with me, and John, congratulations on winning the National Car Audio System as best player on the ground.
Thanks very much. It was good. Yeah.
Johnny, up just before half-time, you got a bad knock in the thigh.
Yes, I caught a bit of a corky in the right leg, but it pulled up all right after the game. Well, it's a bit, it's still a bit sore, but I get a little bit of treatment on it tonight and tomorrow, and see how I'll put up on Saturday.
Well, John, you must have been happy, or the team must have been happy at half-time, but in the third quarter, Carlton came right back, and you were in trouble.
Oh yeah, the boys put in a fairly solid first half and that, and the ground was fairly muddy and fairly heavy. I think the boys might have been just a little bit tired, but we pulled back in the last quarter and pulled it off. It was great.
Alan Jeans had a few words to say at three-quarter time. I was out on the ground listening. He wasn't very impressed at all with your third quarter performance.
Oh no, we were. They got the run on, and we stopped there in the third quarter, and and I think that the guys realised that three-quarter time that we were in a bit of trouble. So everybody lifted, and and we won.
Johnny, they weren't very good conditions for football tonight, were they?
Well, for me they were, but for the rest of the people, I'm not sure.
Do you like those conditions?
Yeah, I don't mind. Get under the packs and that. It's that's football. Muddy, wet, windy, and that sort of thing, and that's the thing I like.
You've been having a very good year with Hawthorn, haven't you?
Yes, I've been pretty pleased with it. Especially winning tonight's grand final. It's the first one ever for me in a league club, and I'm very happy with the club and the rest of the boys.
Are you confident Hawthorn can take the big one off this year?
Oh well, we're just taking week by week, and that we're probably planning for it within the next couple of weeks and that sort of thing. If we win the next ones, next 2, we've got the next the following 3 are pretty hard. So we're just taking game by game and looking at for the finals in September.
Well, John, congratulations once again on winning the National Car Audio System. I know you're very pleased to have done that, and I wish you all the best for season 86 and also to Hawthorn football.
Thanks very much.
Round of applause for Johnny Platten. knock you out.
Thanks, Jack, and congratulations to John Platten. And John, of course, will be in line to win the Nissan Pintara, which is the Player of the Year award, and that award will be announced on World of Sport in the next couple of weeks or so. Bob Skelton, time for your summary. How did you see the Foster's Cup Grand Final?
Well, the first half was an excellent team effort by both sides. Both sides had to be complimented the way they tackled. There were no loose players around the ground. Often you see players able to go out and get easy kicks, and it just wasn't on tonight. Only 2 goals were kicked in the first half, and you wouldn't believe that a side could not kick a goal and only be 2 goals down.